Oh yeah. You know what that sound means? I mean, it's time for another one of these walking talks. Powered by BWR beer. Today we have Sapporo Classic. Oh, actually, I'm gonna go this way. I'm not really going anywhere today. Just kind of want to go for a little walk. Have the time. I cleaned my apartment a bit, so I'm just gonna go wander around a bit. No real plan. You'll probably listen to a podcast after this. Just have a wander, a little stroll. But yeah, it's getting a bit colder out. So now it's October, mid-October almost. So yeah, getting a bit colder. We're finally seeing rice back on the supermarket shelves. There was a rice shortage for a while, so it's very exciting. Having a rice shortage in Japan is probably, it's not a good thing. University started up again, so teaching a lot of young college kids there. It's all going well. Yeah. Oh, and I got a question. So, thank you very much for commenting on my video. I'm so sorry. I just realized I didn't read the comment again to see what your name was, but you know who you are, so thank you for commenting. And he had a question, or maybe she, I don't know, had a question about student life in Japan. So I've actually never been a student here. And yeah, I came here originally just to work. I had graduated from university and thought to myself, you know what, I want to do something a bit different before starting an actual job. Look at this. What is this? Huh. Is that supposed to be like in the shape of an animal, or does it just happen to be that way? I don't know. It's kind of cute. Yeah. So, I graduated university and didn't really want to just jump right into, that normal path of life, starting a 9-to-5 job. I kind of wanted to do something different for a bit. So I decided to go to a different country, ended up in Japan, and I'm still here. That was 8 years ago. So, yeah, actually, I never really had any interest in Japan. Well, a bit, I guess. I had a little bit of interest in Japan. I'd visited once before in high school. Liked it, but never really thought to myself, this is where I want to live. Just kind of happened to be this way. But, yeah. So I never really came here as a student. But, of course, I've talked to a lot of people that have come here as students, and I do have some students from other countries in my classes at the university. So I think I have a little bit of an idea about what that must be like. So yeah, when you say like a student, I got being at me. Probably shouldn't have gone that way. I'm gonna go back around actually. When we say student, there's a lot of different types of students here, I guess, in any country, but, if you're coming from another country to Japan, there are different types of students you can be. So you can be, an exchange student. You could come here for like a year in college or whatever, study at a university and then go back home. Or, even if you're younger than that, I guess you can come here for a little, like, high school thing, whatnot. But a lot of people do come here and do, like, the studying Japanese route. Yeah. Let's see where this takes me. I don't know. So... Oh, I've never been up this road. It's interesting. But okay, anyway, there are a lot of different types of students. And there are some like Japanese schools around in Sendai, and of course tons of them in Tokyo and Osaka, I'm sure. It is quite an easy way to come into the country and get a visa, but it costs a ton. Like, if you're gonna come here as a student, you get a student visa, get ready to like fork over a ton of money. I mean, you don't have to do it all at once. I have actually looked into it a bit because I was interested at one point in doing that. But yeah, it is expensive. I don't remember the exact amounts, but it's not cheap. But you know, your life is just going to language school. Let's go this way for 8 hours a day, and studying really hard, and the goal is to pass like one of the N level tests. So there are 5 tests, 5 levels, N5 to N1, and 1 is the hardest. So basically, people have kind of goals with their studying there to, pass those tests, because if you get N2 or higher, then it looks pretty good for your resume. And then you can find a job at like a Japanese kind of company. But the thing is, when you have a student visa, you are restricted on your working hours. So I believe it's less than 29.5 hours a week. Maybe it's 20, I don't remember. But something like that. Like, you can't work full time. And plus you don't really have time to work full time. But it's gonna be really hard to finance it. But if you have the means to do it, yeah, it does seem like kind of a good route to take to come over here. But student life here, it must be pretty good. You know, Japan is, right now, the yen is not so strong, so it's probably a good time to come and do it. But also, you gotta think about, if you're studying Japanese here, Japan is the only country that speaks Japanese. It's not like Spanish or English, right? So let's keep that in mind. You have to really think about how you're going to be able to use that skill. That's my 2 cents about it. Or I guess my 2 yen. Yeah. So that's like kind of the Japanese language kind of student side of it. But if you're coming here for like a study abroad kind of thing, you're going to be a student at like a university and just kind of take classes. Not every university is going to have classes that are offered in English. So your Japanese level has to be either like very, very high to understand those lectures that you're going to and stuff. So we'll keep going this way. We have a cool little park. Or you have to find a university that does offer classes in English. So lots of the bigger schools do have classes in English, especially like the more prestigious ones will offer classes in English, so you can, basically go through your major and take your classes in English. But I'm sure that, there are some universities that have links with schools in your home country, and they probably have programs set up. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but it probably is a way for you to come here and have classes in English one way or another. But you have to keep in mind that if you don't speak Japanese, you're going to kind of be in this bubble of only having foreign friends and only talking to people that can speak your language. That's especially true if you are living outside of a big city. So if you're like in the middle of the Inaka, like the countryside, Inaka's the countryside, so you're gonna struggle a bit to, find some people to hang out with. It's gonna be quite hard. So social life can be a bit tricky. Yeah, but if you do speak the language, then you can have a really, really good time. So my advice would be, if you are planning to come here for a year or something, or for whatever reason, study first before coming here. And then just don't be afraid to use the language, make some friends. It's a really good way to practice and get better at it. I mean, that goes for anything, not just being a student, but even if you're coming here to work. If you're going to work at like an English school, like what I did when I first came here. Yeah, You probably don't know any Japanese, but study, put the time in, put the effort in, do it, and you will be rewarded. I think there are also a lot of people that kind of idolize foreigners, which is a bit strange to me, but you know, a lot of people in Japan don't even have a passport. And oh wow, this train. This is like a tiny little guy right there. All right, I think that's my beer. Oh, by the way, this is a beer that's only made in Hokkaido. I'm not in Hokkaido, but every once in a while they bring it out in other places. So like once or twice a year I can find this at the supermarket. It's quite good. But if you go to Hokkaido, it's everywhere. So okay, I'm gonna not cross the tracks and go right here down this scary looking street. All right, yeah, I don't remember what I was saying, but anyway, study a lot. Student life here in university really depends on the university, so it's probably going to be a bit different than what you're used to in your country. At least for me, from the US, I kind of you know, I only have an experience of going to a university in the US. So college life in America is you know, all centered around living on campus and the activities that you can do on campus. There's no bell, which was something that surprised me in Japan. They have a bell at universities here. I don't know, maybe that isn't surprising for you depending on your country, but yeah, it's kind of more like glorified high school, if that makes any sense. But yeah, what else? So I mean, they do have like lots of good activities and stuff. I teach at quite a big school in Sendai. If you really think about it, a big school in Sendai, you can probably guess which one it is. But oh wow, look at this! I'm on the river. Okay. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go on the other side. This video is getting a bit long, sorry, but maybe it's interesting. But anyway, you know, at bigger schools, they're gonna have more activities and more clubs to join. A lot of students do join clubs, and they socialize that way. But there are very few dorms, so like that whole dorm life kind of thing just doesn't exist. There's no fraternities, no sororities. A lot of people just have an apartment and commute to school, and you have your periods at school, just like in high school, and you change classrooms, right? that whole thing. So in a way, it is kind of like a freer version of high school. So that's kind of what student life is like here. It's more about kind of where you are versus the school providing the fun. Sports are not as big here. At least, you know, in college sports, I mean, are not as big in Japan as they are in the US. There are no like 100,000 seat stadiums or anything like that. That's kind of unheard of. They do have teams and stuff, but it's not really much of a thing here. High school baseball, though, is a huge thing. So here's the Shinkansen track right there. So you can take that, go to Tokyo if you want, or you can go all the way up to Hokkaido. So yeah, quite cool. Maybe we'll see a train go by. This is a cool little section of the river here. I like it. I like it. I like this little wandering. Yeah, see, this is what I really love about Japan. It's just, I can do this. Oh, there's the Shinkansen. How cool is that? Come on. Hey. All right. All right, so yeah, I mean, you do that. There's a little shrine there. Look at that. Just exploring, you know? And at night, Japan is a whole different place. Yeah, someone commented on my video, and I totally agree that Japan is totally different at night. Should we check out the shrine? Maybe we should. Wow, look at this. Oh, wow. Okay, I just saw like a cat over there, I think. But look at that. Very cool. I'm not gonna ring the bells, but yeah. I wonder what shrine that is. Didn't even look at the... Can't see it anymore, it's too dark. Shoot, I don't really want to go back there. But anyway, tiny little shrine there. Well, this is all like rice, right? So maybe it's some shrine for that. But yeah, very cool. Yeah, so like I was saying, this is why I love Japan. Like, just wandering around, and you find cool stuff like this everywhere. Like, I had no idea that shrine was there right in the middle of the, you know, middle of nowhere here. Just a second ago, just between all these cars and houses, and now look at this right out here with the Shinkansen. Very cool, very cool. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all on the next one. Hopefully that was a bit informative. All right.